Well, guys, it doesn't happen every day, but once in a while you get really lucky. And I'm about 100 yards off this dirt road that my truck is parked on, and you can see some water, and behind me this is sort of a side channel to a big river. And I came out to this spot, and I've walked miles along this flowage years ago and found 5-6 abandoned beaver houses and nothing fresh. There's actually an abandoned one down there. But as soon as I popped out here, I saw an big active house. I'm gonna see if we can show it to you. Off in the distance there is an active beaver house. And so I just walked through here and I found a bunch of runs. So I ran back to the truck and I got 5 or 6 330s, and I'm gonna set this up pretty heavy. So like I've mentioned before, my goal this season is just to have fun, not to catch big numbers, but I want to get out in the woods, get in shape, and move around a little bit. So I'm getting off the road. I'm not using drowning sets, and so I don't have to carry drowning bags, because 6 50-pound rock bags would be a little hard to carry, and there's no rocks down here in the swamp. So yeah, I got my 330s and my stands, and we're gonna go set some up. Okay. So this camera is right on a run, or a path, a trail that the beaver are coming out of the water. This is the first major one that I came to. There's a small one over there, but this one's been more traveled, and you can see fresh peeled sticks where they're coming in and out of the water. So yeah, we're gonna find a spot where we can submerge a 330 and set it there. I have all the different styles of 330s. Today I have some Bridgers, some Victors, and some Dukes. I'm going to use the Duke here because this is a pretty shallow run, and the Duke is a little shorter trap. Our traps legally are required to be submerged, so the Duke works well in these situations. And normally I will set these ahead of time, but I got all excited and I didn't have my stuff ready. I didn't realize I was going to set so many traps. You want to have these setters that lock up. They're much safer and easier to use. Now, we have 3 different types of stands here. We've got the shallow H stand, we've got the rebar with the clamps on it, or the spots to clamp down the trap, and we got the big tall stand. We're going to use all 3 at in this area, but I think probably this stand is going to work better in this spot. All right, I got that set made. Pretty simple. Took way longer than it should have because I had issues with the stand. Trap's just underwater. Get a dive stick there. Should work pretty good. So you can see the beaver house up ahead there. And we got another nice run right in here. Hands are wet. Those Cold Creek gauntlets are supposed to be the best. Every pair, I've got 3 pairs this spring, all sprung leaks on me. So if anybody knows of any better gauntlets, I'm all ears because I don't like wet hands and I don't like junk. All right, I think we'll set up right here, this next spot. This is another nice run. You can see, sorry about that. You can see going up, trail going up into the woods. This is a really nice depth. What I noticed with those H stands is, oh, look at this. Beaver left his calling card right there. So this is fresh. I can actually smell that. I can smell beaver castor on that. So that's good. With the H stands, what I noticed is you have to have really deep water to set them effectively. So I'm not really, it's hard sometimes to find that because the trap sets a few inches up above the bottom side cross piece of the frame. Okay, this is a ready-made location for a 330. So I've got this rebar trap stabilizer. And just pop that in. Set my trap on it. You got to set the trap on these. You can't have it preset. And oh, that's a hard bottom. Okay. I'm gonna have to get it in first. There we go. That's better. Well, I had a few issues with that stand. I'm still getting used to these things. I couldn't get the stand pounded in deep enough to get the trap underwater, but I did. Ended up just securing it there with the springs out against the mud banks, and I was able to get those squeezed against it to stabilize the trap. Little dive stick, trap just underwater. That should be a beaver tomorrow. And then I got another one out here. One of these will be a beaver, maybe 2. And I was able to use that H stand, that short H stand, in this deeper water in this run, and I get a Bridger 330 set there. I think that'll work pretty good. Notice it's a new trap. I haven't dyed it or painted it yet. Oh, there's a little minnow swimming through it. I'm gonna let them get a little bit of rust and paint them this summer. But yeah, so we got 2 traps on this run that seems to be pretty heavily used. So hopefully we'll have something, and I'm gonna just go up a little further and I get 2 or 3 more spots. As you can see, the beaver house is just behind that fir tree in the background there, and see a few white sticks out here. And this is a nice run, pretty deep run that the beaver are going through. Look at that, a little bit of mud workings there from a beaver marking his territory. That goes way up into the woods there, where they're going and cut some trees. So this should be a good spot. I'll set either 1 or 2 traps here. I haven't decided just yet, but I definitely, this is a nice narrow spot. But if that beaver's not coming to feed and he's just coming to mark his territory, he may come up here, stop right there, and not even go beyond there. So I'm going to set right in that channel. All right. It's a good depth for one of these tall stands. So I just shove that into the mud. Set our trap. Just like that. Hook that together. And put a little something, just a little subtle dive stick of sorts. Right there. And I just gotta wire this up. Didn't bring any stakes with me. I'll just wire to a bush here. And that extra wire is just a little safety because that stand is so solid in the mud, I can't imagine it would move, but just in case something works it out. But yeah, there's another simple one. We'll go down and see if we can find one or two more spots to do that. Okay, we're right at the house, and there's obviously a lot of activity here. The water is really deep out there, so it's not a great spot to be able to make a set. And I'm just kind of looking at different areas that our beaver are working through, and I noticed there's a channel coming out or on the side of the house, and there's this big log here, and they're swimming underneath that log. So I'm going to look and get up close and determine whether I want to set there or there, but definitely either one of those is a good place to make a set. Well, I think even better is right at the house. Just getting a couple of sticks to direct the beaver. a little bit. Now, I haven't done much with setting deep runs with these tall stands, so I certainly don't know how it's going to work out, but hopefully it's all right. I can't see anything, I can't feel because I don't want to get caught in the trap. I don't have long shoulder gauntlets, so it seems as though that's set in there nicely, so we'll just go with it for now. Tie that off. I kind of still want to set that run. It looks really good. What the heck, man? We're here, we got a trap, we got a stand. Might as well use them, huh? Okay. I think that beaver appeared to be coming in somewhere right about there. It's all new to me using these stands, but in deeper water I like them. Shallow water I haven't quite decided yet. Good, that'll be nice and secure. And I might just block. I don't really know that I need to. I tend to overdo it a little bit. See, I don't need any dive log or anything. I already know they're going under there. Just want to make sure they don't go around the side of the trap. Yeah, we'll go with that. See how it works out. I'll be back and check these tomorrow morning. Well, I know I said that I wanted to do some hiking and get off the road this spring, but as you learn, sometimes there are limitations. So this is an unbelievable spot. I scouted this out last fall and I came to check on it again, and it's a massive series of dams. And if you can see over there all of that light colored stuff, that is an entire feed pile exhausted by beavers. And to the right of that, in the trees, you may not be able to see, there is the biggest beaver house that I've seen in a very, very long time. So this, you know, who knows, there could be easily 8 or 10 beavers in that house. And they were there all winter. They used up their whole feed pile. But I guess I realized that balancing a full-time job and a farm and everything else, to come in here half a mile each way with a bunch of traps in on the way in and beavers on the way out, and to do that at least every 3 days. I mean, we have 3-day check on body grips out right here, but problem is it's so hot right now that I wouldn't want to wait 3 days. So I'd be coming in here half a mile each way every morning. Not practical, so there are limits, but it was kind of cool to come back and see this. And there's just no way to get to this. The old road that got close to here has been washed out. So anyway, this one will have to stay and provide more seed for future for beavers down further down in the watershed where I do trap. So all right, long journey back to the truck, I guess. Oh, I'm headed back out of the woods from that beaver lodge I just scouted, and as you can see, there's a whole lot of blowdown to go around here. My initial plan, actually, when I found this last fall, was to come here in the wintertime. And by the way, I never would have found this spot if it hadn't been for OnX, the app on my phone. I never would have bothered coming in this far if I didn't know there was something here. But with OnX, I could see through the aerial imagery that there was this whole series of beaver dams here. I just didn't know which ones were fresh, and so that's what kind of brought me in here. And as you can see, it would take a lot of snow to get over this stuff in snowmobile, and we had a really mild winter, so we didn't get enough snow, and my machine was down for a while, and yeah, it just didn't work out. But anyway, we'll get back up to the road, maybe find a spot or two that's easier to get to. It does not seem right for this to be trapping season, because usually Mother Nature just messes with you constantly. And this is the absolutely most beautiful week I've had of trapping as far as weather. Calm, sunny, froze overnight. It was just barely under freezing. It's gonna be up in the 50s today. Just perfect weather. It's awesome. Maybe not the best fur catching weather, but boy, for the comfort, it's pretty hard to beat. So we got this river here, and there's a little pocket over in that turn, that outside bend that goes back into the bushes. And I had a beaver that was swimming around out here, and there was sign in that pocket, sticks, chewed up sticks and stuff. So I made a 330 set there, but for some reason that beaver was actually watching me as I was making the set. I could not get the bugger to go in there and get caught in that trap. So I made a little caster mount set there. So I decided, why not come out here into the Maine River and set a trap in a little different spot, just to switch things up and see if that works. So I set this yesterday, and I just made there was a little spot in the bank here, and I kind of a little carved out area, and I just kicked the spot flat, just made myself a little spot to step, and I put a little mud in there and put a little dab of my lure, and you can see the stand there for the conibear. As you can tell, there's a stand and there's no trap in it, so obviously something fired the trap. I set this thorn bush here on the side just to make sure the beaver would come in this way. Set the trap just underwater, and a little dive stick you can see right there. So let's see, I got my wire right here. I'm quite sure there's a beaver on the end of this. It's about 4 or 5 feet deep right there. So a guy doesn't want to go off the edge of this bank. There it is. Nice beaver. All right. Good deal. Let's see if I can step down here and grab it. Oh yeah, there we go. That is probably the one that I was seeing on the swimming around. That's a big beaver. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good. Awesome. Okay. Get a few more traps to check here, and then we're gonna go to a spot where I set up yesterday. This is a good reason why I like to do 24-hour checks. This water is probably about 35 degrees right now. It was below freezing overnight, but it's going to be in the 60s today. And that beaver is halfway out of the water, and that bright sun shining on that dark fur is going to heat things up pretty good. So in the interest of keeping the fur quality good, I've been checking these every day. So anyway, another nice little area with a little crossover spot, channel, and 3 days, 3 beaver. Love that spot. You can see I get a dive log right there. That's actually, the water has been coming up here, and got to keep adjusting that log. But the cool thing is, I got one of those rebar 330 stabilizers down there somewhere, and there it is. I see it now, and all I gotta do is just keep resetting the trap right onto that, and I don't have to. It saves a lot of time and effort. So I'm starting to like those stabilizers where you can get them in. Some places they're real hard to get into the right depth you need them. But anyway, another nice beaver. Got 2 at this spot, and I get another spot to go check here shortly.